Yo, GD here, Tyrolinus, and as you can see, we're at Monaco here for today, and sorry there's been a little bit of a delay. Sales should be continuing every day from now on, but we managed to get 7th on the leaderboards, 5th if you take into account people use assists, with the highest pad run at the moment, and this stat was pretty good. A couple attempts to find, definitely in the last sector. You'll be able to see on the lap, it's just so hard to hook up around here. But we're actually in a Mercedes, and I did realise at the end that the Ferrari is actually the quicker car around here. So I spent about an hour doing this. I feel it was a pretty good representation of a lap, and we'll be able to run through the setup now, which is basically tailored to maximum downforce, so 11 wing. Everything else you'll be able to run through here. So transmission 50-70 the same, which you'll be able to see. And suspension geometry, that's tailored towards just outright change of direction. So you just need a lot more grip just at the front to rotate the car through the corners. That's the suspension you'll be able to see. As we move on to that in a second, you'll be able to see here 11 on the front anti-roll bar. Really just to get the maximum responsiveness throughout the corners, because that's something you really do need, whilst hopefully getting good rear traction on the rear as well, as to see for the roll bar and suspension, as you can see by the ride height as well, slightly lower on the rear, just to make it a little bit more stable, a little bit more traction. Same brakes as usual, tyres, weight distribution I think is 7. Apologies as well, because I think there's a cut on the first corner, because let me tell you, on this track, the track limits are they're a joke really in this track. So I wasn't actually following anyone's ghost, but on my lap, turn 1, it's definitely a cut, which is unfortunate, but hopefully it shows how the setup was working pretty well. But the rest of the lap is clean and could definitely improve. You'll be able to see it on the actual lap itself, which is coming up in just a few seconds time. So hopefully you enjoy this. This setup is actually pretty similar to Matiz's, who's actually on the wheel in number 1. So it's nice to see that it actually does work for both. So coming on here now, so getting a really good exit, coming onto the start finishing straight, and for this first corner, you won't be braking just before the shadow of the F1 2017 bosses, just before that there. Take as much curb as possible. Unfortunate that allows you to do that, but going up into the hill, going up into 7th gear, we'll be looking at the right hand side, aim for one, I think it's the second light, as you go to the left, that's when I'm turning in 4th gear, coming to here now just before the black box. Won't be turning in late apex into here, car as straight as possible, and for this corner you need to clip that curb on the inside, because if you don't it will not swing you around. Middle of the corner, 2nd gear, between the two shadows, that's your braking point, and turning in. Really careful on the traction coming up here now, and for this corner you want to be attacking this as hard as possible. So after the 100 meter board, 75 meters, come into here, really attack this, manage to just clip that nicely, slingshot on your way out of here without cutting, quite nice. After the 50 meter board, turning in, slight hesitation on the steering wheel, but flat out through here again as the car's straight, 4th gear, clipping this curb, no corner cuts here, which is nice. Before the shadow, braking point tight as possible, coming to this now. As you hit the orange part of the barrier, that's your turning point, making way to the line, tight as possible to the shortest run to the line. And we've done a 10.2, which is, I thought was a pretty good time actually, but I think we're going on to some other laps now, because this track was just so frustrating, because I really personally love driving this track. I really enjoy it because it's so close to me. You can see having to take that curve again. We're actually up on our time this time, but it's just so hard to hook up. And on this, the pad has still got an input delay in this game, definitely not as much as we had before. As you can see, we're actually up on our first sector by half a tenth, which we kept on doing, so that's really pretty annoying. But you can see here, clipping that, but if you just turn in too early, then you clip this and the lap's pretty much over. But the pad is always going to be slow around here, particularly for the last sector, the swimming pool section, particularly for the fast right left, because you just can't turn quick enough. So I think we're 0.666, which is an interesting number, away from Matiz, which I feel is pretty good. I think anything within half a second to a second, I think that's a pretty good time. I think personally, I can get down to a 10.0, maybe even a really high 9 on a perfect lap. But yeah, I thought that was a solid effort, and the setup does free really well. And you can see here, using that to drag us around, as you can see, using that, you gain so much time if you manage to do that. We're coming off here now, and I think we're actually up on this lap. So coming off here now, you can see we're about half a tenth down at the moment. And I think towards the end of the lap, you'll be able to see we make up some time until I think there's like the last corner. So really attacking this. Once again, clipping half on this is really important to do that. So coming off here now, you can see almost up on our time, turn in, and now we're getting, look how much time we're actually getting. So almost half a tenth up now, but we're going through here. This is the corner where you lose time because we lose about 3 tenths in the last sector just through there. And coming around here, the last corner's fine, but it's just for like right, left, and I think that's always going to be the case. As I said, the wheel is always going to be faster, and it should always be quicker because you could just be more precise and you can just change direction faster as well. So, but around here, I think the pad should be relatively competitive in the race. Over 1 lap, as I said, I don't think it's a quicker device around any track, but in the race, I think where it doesn't matter as much, it's going to be about consistency and stuff as well. And you can see if you miss your braking point, it's game over. So, hopefully you enjoyed that. And I will see you tomorrow for, I think it's Canada. So, back to setups as normal. Thank you so much, and see you there.